Jay-Z is setting Diddy up. He lined up DeHaven, stole his life and identity. He lined up Big L, stole his life and identity. He lined up Dame Dash.
When nobody has any information about it, and it only came from that angle, I have to believe that.
It seems like things are closing in on Jay-Z as people in the music industry are starting to show who he really is. Rumor has it that Jaguar and 50 Cent are now part of this group and aren't holding back from saying that Jay-Z might have a hand in Diddy's current problems. So what exactly did they say? During a recent interview, Jaguar made some strong claims, hinting that Jay-Z played a role in bringing down Diddy. These statements have stirred up a lot of debates and speculation in the music world. Jaguar, known for speaking her mind, didn't hold back as she talked about the alleged manipulation and exploitation in the music industry. In the interview, Jaguar asked important questions, digging into the timing and reasons behind Diddy's current situation.
So why does it all come to a head now? Why now? Why?
Because he's the acceptable at this time.
During her candid conversation, Wright likened the treatment of contentious figures in the industry to what happened with R. Kelly, insinuating a possible pattern orchestrated by Jay-Z. When questioned about who might be the next target in this alleged series of orchestrated events, Wright directly brought up Sean Diddy Combs, implying that Jay-Z might be behind setting him up for a downfall.
Y'all don't see the lineup?
Yeah, we see the lineup. I'm just waiting to see who's next.
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up.
Wright went on to detail a sequence of alleged manipulations by Jay-Z, referencing past associates and collaborators. According to her claims, Jay-Z had lined up figures like Damon Dash and the late Notorious Big, supposedly stealing their life and identity. These accusations bring forth a complex narrative of betrayal and power dynamics within the music industry's upper echelons. He lined up DeHaven, stole his life and identity. He lined up Big L, stole his life and identity. He lined up Dame Dash, stole his life identity, and took his love, Wright stated, painting a picture of calculated actions against key figures in rap history. The most shocking assertion made by Wright was her insinuation that Jay-Z's intention is to be the only influential figure in the music industry. He wants to be the one, she claimed, hinting at Jay-Z's alleged desire for dominance or control within the narrative of these high-profile incidents. So, is there any truth to what Jaguar is claiming? Well, let's start with the case of DMX.
We don't know. What you mean you don't know? How do you listen to a whole album, pick a single, shoot a video, then don't know? Okay, I see what's really good. You're trying to eliminate the competition. Because at first you retire, then get me off the label, now you're back rapping again. Okay. It's all good. It's all good. Crazy!
Word on the street is that power couple Beyonce and Jay-Z might have had something to do with DMX's demise. I know, it's shocking, but apparently 50 Cent wasn't surprised at all. What does he know that we don't? Now, we all remember the epic rap battle between Jay-Z and DMX back in the day. The two titans of the industry went head-to-head in the Bronx, and their rivalry quickly became the stuff of legend. But apparently things might have taken a deadly turn between the two. He's pointing fingers at Beyonce and Jay-Z, accusing them of having a hand in DMX's untimely passing. You see, the music industry was shaken to its core in 2021 when the news of DMX's death broke, with reports indicating that the iconic rapper had passed away from a overdose. But here's the million-dollar question. Was his overdose really just a tragic accident? What if there's more to the story? Some speculate that the key to unraveling the mystery of DMX's untimely demise lies in following the money. Who stood to gain the most financially from his passing?
He is talented, but he has no heart behind it. There's no soul behind it. It's motivated by money, strictly. He is talented, but it's strictly motivated by money.
The online grapevine went into overdrive shortly after DMX's death, with reports suggesting that Jay-Z and Beyonce had snapped up the rights to his music. As the rumors continued to circulate, suspicion grew that the couple stood to gain a fortune from DMX's demise. But what about DMX's kids? If the speculations were true, they could miss out on the wealth their father had worked so hard to accumulate throughout his career. It's a truly heartbreaking situation, and one that DMX himself had long suspected. The rapper had had always been wary of Jay-Z's money-hungry ways, and the alleged purchase of his masters by the power couple would seem to confirm his worst fears. And it's not just DMX that's been on Jay's hit list. There have also been talks about Jay-Z's role in Tupac's death. Snoop Dogg, a prominent rapper, recently disclosed intriguing information about Tupac and Jay-Z, two of the biggest names in hip-hop. According to Snoop, the tension between the two icons was not only limited to their shared passion for music, but also their love interests. He alleges that Jay-Z was afraid of losing Beyonce to the legendary Tupac. However, the veracity of these claims is uncertain and remains to be confirmed. Tupac's meteoric rise to fame in the music industry is a testament to his unparalleled talent and artistry. His music was in a class of its own, and very few rappers could come close to matching his level of skill. It's no wonder that he gained such widespread recognition and admiration. According to Snoop Dogg, if Tupac were still alive today, many of the current rap superstars might not be as successful as they are now. With his immense talent and captivating charisma, Tupac was truly one of a kind.
I always come to the conclusion that a lot of artists wouldn't be as big as they are if they were here. And that was with no disrespect. It's just certain lanes opened up for artists when they were gone.
Snoop also suggests that Tupac's tragic passing opened the door for the likes of Jay-Z to achieve the level of success they have today. Many other rappers would have struggled to compete with Tupac if he were still around. After Tupac's death, Jay-Z eventually put aside his long-standing feud with the late rapper. Despite creating a song dissing Tupac, Jay-Z ultimately chose not to release it. The song's creator has since explained why it was never made public. It never came out of respect for the fact that he died. Jay did a record going at Pac, but just as it was about to come out, Tupac died. We performed it though. We performed it once. You have to understand, the chip on Jay's shoulder is so crazy. It's just like he had to perform it. Tupac was an imposing figure, both in terms of his size and his popularity among fans and women alike. Even his fellow rappers acknowledged that he was the biggest name in the rap industry, with the ability to win over any girl he desired. Some speculate that if Tupac were still alive, he might have ended up with Beyonce, which could have made Jay-Z feel threatened and motivated him to harm Tupac. Anyway, another tactic that Jay-Z has been accused of using to get rid of competition is selling out artists to the feds. You see, Jay appointed Desiree Perez, a well-known snitch, as CEO of his entertainment company, Roc Nation. Prior to entering the music industry, Perez was involved in the game. In 1994, she was arrested in Miami for possession of 35 keys of Griselda Blanco's. But in exchange for the offer of 0 years in prison, the Roc Nation CEO agreed to wear a wire and became a federal informant for the enforcement agency. Perez helped the DEA lock up copious amounts of Hispanic Americans involved in the Miami wars and turned on low-level associates of Griselda Blanco, Fabio Ochoa, and even Pablo Escobar. Working with the police is highly frowned upon in hip-hop culture, with tracks such as F the Police and Ice-T's Cop Kayer being so popular. It came as a shock to many when Jay decided to bring Desiree into his circle. In 2015, during an appearance on The Breakfast Club, Jay-Z's former Rockefeller counterpart Damon Dash told the hosts, "Once a N has certain friends, we don't even talk about him anymore where I'm from." He also stated it would be unlikely he would do future business with Jay-Z due to his connection to Perez. Desiree was the wife of Jay-Z's good friend Juan Perez, a Harlem native whom Jay-Z met in the 1990s and went into business with. Together, they opened a series of sports bars, including the iconic 4040 Club. Desiree acted as a promoter for these various clubs. With the help of Juan, she rose from a part-time nightclub manager to a record company executive. And in 2008, Jay-Z made her chief operating officer of Roc Nation. In 2019, she was promoted to CEO. Although former President Donald Trump pardoned Perez of her crimes in 2021 and wiped her criminal record, Jay-Z lost the respect of hip-hop by hiring, entertaining, and promoting a well-known snitch who put people behind bars. Anyway, by hiring a snitch, the entire music industry was convinced that Jay-Z sells out his artists and competitors to the feds. One person who Jay-Z allegedly sold out was convicted singer R. Kelly. For context, in the wake of his sentencing to 30 years in prison for ST and racketeering, the disgraced singer recently filed an appeal in his New York federal crimes case. Documents obtained by TMZ revealed that the 56-year-old artist had put forth multiple arguments in his bid to overturn his conviction, ranging from assertions of a potentially biased jury jury to claims of being misled about the ages of the minors he had relationships with. The appeal, filed by his attorney Jennifer Bonjon, sought to have the convictions reversed or to secure a new trial. Kelly's legal team contended that the government had failed to meet its burden of proof during the trial, despite the jury finding him guilty on all counts following nearly 6 weeks of proceedings. A key point in Kelly's appeal was the allegation that at least 2 jurors had watched Surviving R. Kelly, a documentary released in 2019, which featured accounts from his accusers. His lawyers argued that this documentary, funded by Jay-Z and allegedly provided to the jurors, could have biased their judgment, especially given Kelly's legal history with Jay-Z. Moreover, Kelly disputed the ages of the girls involved, claiming that some were at least 18 years old when their interactions with him began. His legal team asserted that in cases where the girls were minors, Kelly had been misled about their ages. Kelly's defense also contested the admissibility of certain evidence presented during the trial, arguing that irrelevant details about his personal life unfairly influenced the jury. They maintained that discussions about his history, preferences, and past relationships were prejudicial and unrelated to the charges he faced. Additionally, Kelly raised objections to the testimony provided by his former associates, alleging that they had misrepresented facts and testified on matters beyond their knowledge. Now, selling out people is not something that is new to Jay-Z. In fact, he even betrayed his best friend DeHaven Irby back in the day. In fact, DeHaven was so scarred by the betrayal that he warned all of Jay's closest pals to be on the lookout. In a 2007 interview with Vulture, Irby revealed that much of the life Jay-Z rapped about, he didn't actually live. He insinuated that the Brooklyn rapper was a low-level dealer and nothing like the Kingpin Jigga portrayed himself to be. I'm telling you, he over-exaggerates. He was there to see things, but doing some big-time Frank Lucas type thing? No, Irby explained. He nickeled and dimed, but nothing on a major scale. He definitely didn't sell nothing in Marcy. Spanish Jose, who he mentions a lot in his songs, was a friend of mine. Jay didn't have no affiliation to Spanish Jose. The former dealer even alluded to Jay-Z, admitting that he appropriated Irby's life. He's been talking about me since day one on a lot of his albums. He mentioned me on the Black album, and I hadn't seen him in years. DeHaven Irby has been a public critic of his former best friend Jay-Z for years. When he was released from prison, he sounded off in a series of YouTube videos about how Jay had abandoned him in 1998 when he was hit with conspiracy charges. Last year, Irby accused the first hip-hop artist to become a billionaire of working with the feds. People should know that some hip-hop artists have beaten federal cases by becoming government informants, Irby said. As far as the affiliation with him, Jay-Z, dealing with government informants, that's no secret at all. Do I think it's crazy that nobody brings that subject up? Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, of course they affiliating with them people, Irby said during an interview on the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast. The more I look at it and the more I understand it more and more, that's why I'm not a part of that. It seems to be clearer and clearer each time. It would have been impossible for Jay-Z to avoid doing prison time if he wasn't working with the feds, Irby said. It's just impossible for me to understand how they don't have Jay and they got all these conversations with him. It just don't make sense. It'll never make sense to me. Irby added that Roc Nation's willingness to hire Desiree Perez as chief operating officer in 2008 and promote her to CEO in 2019, despite knowing she was a government informant in the 1990s, is further proof that the revered hip-hop company is in bed with the U.S. government. What else he gonna do when you working with them? What else you gonna do? She gonna be around. That's what's just like suspicious to me. Homegirl got a strong position in there and it's crazy that you know her background and you know what we stand for. So it's just self-explanatory. You gotta be working with them, Irby continued. Far as I'm concerned, Roc Nation is run by the government. Irby went on to say, I'll call a spade all day. At the end of the day, there's no way possible you can sit and tell me on my case that they ain't got no conversations with Jay Heavy at all. It don't make no sense. At some point, they got a hold of him, and he's been working ever since. Moving on, Jaguar Wright has been speaking out about how Jay-Z supposedly used Big L to boost his own career. Now, I know it might be hard to take everything Jaguar says at face value, but she's not just making idle gossip. She was actually there in the background with Jay during his early days in the music business. She even worked as one of his backup singers and was featured on that famous 2001 MTV Unplugged Live album. And here's something even more intriguing. Rumor has it that Jaguar dated none other than Big L himself, the Harlem legend who who was initially signed to Columbia Records but got dropped in '96. There were talks swirling around about a potential group deal with Dame Dash, a co-founder of Rockefeller Records, who took notice of Big L. But then tragedy struck. Big L was tragically shot and KI'd in Harlem, and the case remains unsolved. According to Jaguar, Big L's death was just the beginning of a series of mysterious events that allegedly helped pave the way for Jay-Z's rise to the top. Big L met his demise in a drive-by shooting on February 15, 1999. He was shot 9 times, 5 in the chest and 4 in the face. The police named a few people as suspects, but ultimately landed on Gerard Woodley, Big L's childhood friend, as the main suspect. He was arrested 3 months after the shooting, but was released for lack of evidence. However, Jaguar Wright claims that Jay-Z was involved in Big L's demise because he was his chief rival in rap music.
Jay-Z was the last person to see Big L alive.
Jaguar Wright claimed that Big L, a prominent figure from Harlem, was gaining more recognition in New York and had a promising future, possibly overshadowing Jay-Z. Allegedly, Jay-Z saw fit to eliminate Big L as a sacrifice, believing it would advance his own career. Wright's accusations suggested that Jay-Z was affiliated with an Illuminati group and that Big L's demise was orchestrated to clear the path for Jay-Z's success, particularly as the 2000s approached. Given these assertions, it wouldn't be surprising if Jaguar Wright implicated Jay-Z in Diddy's current controversy. While nothing has been confirmed, there are whispers suggesting that Wright believes Jay-Z should also be subject to investigation. With her previous claims of Jay-Z's involvement in Big L's demise, Wright is convinced that he may have played a role in Diddy's alleged misdeeds as well. According to Wright, both Jay-Z and Diddy followed a similar trajectory to success by sacrificing other rappers, leading her to speculate that they are both part of the Illuminati. If this theory holds true, it's conceivable that Jay-Z could be connected to Diddy's questionable activities. However, it's important to note that Jaguar Wright has a history of making bold statements, so these allegations could be based on speculation rather than concrete evidence. Yet there's also the possibility that Wright's claims carry some weight. If her assertions regarding Jay-Z's involvement are substantiated, it could lead to investigations into his affairs. Anyway, in light of the recent raid on Diddy's residence, the federal authorities searched both homes because Diddy was the target of a federal investigation being carried out by a security team from the Department of Homeland Security that deals with crimes related to illegally transporting humans. The probe is being led by the U.S. Attorney for the South District of New York under the auspices of the Department of Homeland Security Investigations, Transnational Organized Crime Division. Homeland Security Investigations is the federal body mandated to look into narcotics and the illegal transport of humans to and from the country. It is not known what triggered the investigations, but anonymous sources claim it has something to do with the several SA&R allegations leveled against Diddy by some women. On the day of the raid, several drone footages showed the authorities combing through several documents on card tables outside Diddy's Miami home, and mobile command post vehicles were seen around the area. The lawyer for Diddy claimed that the embattled music mogul wasn't detained, and neither was any member of his family. Despite media speculation, neither Mr. Combs nor any of his family members have been arrested, nor has their ability to travel been restricted in any way, Dyer's statement said. This unprecedented ambush, paired with an advanced, coordinated media presence, leads to a premature rush to judgment of Mr. Combs and is nothing more than a witch hunt based on meritless accusations made in civil lawsuits. He also claimed the innocence of his client and expressed his client's willingness to pursue the case to its logical conclusion. There has been no finding of criminal or civil liability with any of these allegations. Mr. Combs is innocent and will continue to fight every single day to clear his name. Prior to the surprise raid, Diddy and his twin daughters, Delilah and Jessie Combs, were gearing up for a spring break getaway when they found their home surrounded by state officials and vehicles. It remains unclear whether Diddy had been tipped off about the impending raid, hence his preparations to travel, or if it was merely a coincidence. Additionally, it's uncertain whether the authorities conducting the raid were aware of the music mogul's vacation plans. While we may never obtain definitive answers to these questions, we can speculate based on what we know about Diddy and law enforcement. Recently, a music producer who collaborated with the founder of Bad Boy Records alleged in a lawsuit against Diddy that the rapper has connections within law enforcement in Miami and Los Angeles. According to the producer, Rodney Jones Jr., Diddy's ties to the police are facilitated through his head of security, Fahim Muhammad, who previously served as Michael Jackson's head of security. Jones, who filed a lawsuit seeking $30 million in damages against the entrepreneur, disclosed an incident wherein Diddy and his son purportedly shot an individual, and law enforcement allegedly covered it up at their behest. Narrating the incident, Jones claimed that the Diddy and his son, Justin Combs, got into a heated argument with a man named G at Chalice Recording Studio. He didn't detail what caused the argument, but he claimed that the debate went down in the studio's bathrooms, and the shots rang out. When he rushed to the scene, he saw G holding his stomach and bleeding from his hips. Jones then said he helped the man by putting him on the toilet seat while they waited for the ambulance to arrive. Diddy then came up to him and instructed him and the entire studio crew to tell the authorities it was a drive-by incident that took place outside the studios. Official reports from LAPD's investigation revealed that G was shot outside the studio during a However, Jones also claimed he saw the police spend hours in the studio after the shooting. Rodney Jones said this was the result of Diddy's head of security's close relationship with law enforcement. Jones even mentioned that he knew eyewitnesses who were ready to corroborate his version of events if the court subpoenaed them to appear before it. He also claimed that Diddy threatened him on several occasions, claiming that he would eat his face and eliminate him. He continued that the rap mogul claimed he won't think twice about harming his own mother, neither would he think twice about eliminating him. According to Jones, the New York native forced him to watch as he displayed his and bragged about getting away with shooting people, including in the 1999 New York City nightclub shooting for which a jury acquitted Diddy of possession and charges. However, the most interesting part of Rodney's lawsuit, which many fans suspect could be the basis for the raid on Diddy's home, was when he alleged that Diddy had hours of footage and audio recordings that showed Diddy and his cohorts engaging in illegal activity. He claimed the illegal activities were of a serious and grievous nature from September 2022 to November 2023. Interestingly, he added some of the supposed pictures to the lawsuit, and it appeared damning. The pictures showed some ladies dancing with a man thought to be Diddy. The lawsuit insinuated that these ladies were given drinks laced with illicit substances and made to perform unspeakable acts with the music mogul. Jones further alleged that Diddy forced him into sleeping with two S-workers without his knowledge or concern. On how the incident happened, Jones explained that he woke up dizzy and confused next to two females he didn't know. Thus, he suspected that Diddy might have him and caused the ladies to perform sensual acts on him without his knowledge. As usual, Diddy denied all the allegations Jones leveled against him in the lawsuit. In a statement through his lawyer, the Grammy Award winner stated, "Lil Rod is nothing more than a liar who filed a $30 billion lawsuit shamelessly looking for an undeserved payday. His reckless name-dropping about events that are pure fiction and simply did not happen and is nothing more than a transparent attempt to garner headlines. We have overwhelming, indisputable proof that his claims are complete lies. Our attempts to share this proof with Mr. Jones' attorney, Tyrone Blackburn, have been ignored as Mr. Blackburn refuses to return our calls. We will address these outlandish allegations in court and take all appropriate action against those who make them." In any case, although Jay-Z has not been connected to Diddy's lawsuits, there is speculation that he might soon also face a similar fate to that of Diddy, and many people are eager to watch this unfold. Anyway, that's it for this video, folks. Bye.